there. He actually, the whiteout came, he fell off the cliff and was injured and was lost. And it's even though it's like June time, it's snow, so he wasn't prepared for that kind of condition. But it was, he's actually writing a book now. He lived to do that. The exciting part was when he came back to us and shared, and this is what he's sharing in his story. It was obviously a time of great trouble. He actually very much thought during that time he wasn't going to survive. But he said immediately he went to the Father. Because he had observed his whole life his father going to the Father during times of trouble. And, and that was just one little example of him caring for me. But I watched him through extended family issues and through business issues and through church issues. And we all have lots of things happen in our lives. And our children and our community have continually seen him go to his Heavenly Father. And he didn't have a father, a biological father, present in his life spiritually. But, and so the thing I've seen is he's become not just the father to our children and grandfather to our grandchildren, he's become a spiritual father to our entire community, and whole lives were changed. And it wasn't even intentional in the way of thinking, okay, I'm going to go out and preach. It was through an action of sacrifice, and over again, to his business, to his family, to in all sorts of ways in the community. And so I just want to encourage you that yes, it's important to be on the streets and preaching, but your life, the way you live it, that is the ultimate witness, especially for people who have an opportunity to see you. There's often times where you go on the street with people who are never going to see your life, but your life has a huge impact.
Yes.
And then I'm just watching so many that have kind of sat underneath Steve through their lives, so many like young people that are all over the world now. I mean, It is, when you look at numbers of multiplication, you can just, minister to one person, whether it's your best friend or a child, and you see the multiplication through the generations. Long time ago, I was with this, we were in this group of people having dinner, and they were like kind of important people, or at least they thought they were. And anyways, and so a bunch of people had asked me during the conversation at the dinner, or during like the social time, like, what do you do? And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm just a mom, kind of that's sort of my response. And there was another woman that had observed me and had engaged me a little while later during that evening. And you may actually recognize her name, because I want to give her credit for this quote. Her husband is Louis Palau, who's kind of a speaker and evangelist. Anyways, but she had observed me and had come up to me and had said, I kind of overheard your response at some point during the evening. And she said, there's nothing more valuable than your role as a mom. And she said that she personally had felt those same things at some point in her life. And then God just whispered in her ear that wasn't the true. And he gave her this quote that she lives by. And she gave it to me, which I pulled into my heart and grasped and shared over and over and over again. And she said to me, I don't think she had the same number of children, so I revamped it a little. But I can't remember how many she had. But it was this. It was, I'm socializing 3 Homo sapiens into the values of the Christian belief system, that they might be change agents leading the kingdoms of God to triumph over the dying kingdoms of this world. And that was that's being a mom. And I listened to that, and that is what a mom does. And that is what a mom does, not just of her own children, but, you know, if you're a mom and you're a loving mom and you open your home, you end up with the masses at your house every day. So you're a mom to the masses. I mean, it was interesting, even as our kids became older, we're like in high school and didn't need a mom at home and didn't necessarily want all the rules. And I had a lot of rules. You know, you had to talk kindly to everyone in the home. You know, there were certain things that were expected or you couldn't stay. And they could be at home, watching TV, eating, and I'm not a junk food person. So no junk food, you know, TV, you know, I had a whole bunch of rules. And, but we had fun. But anyways, and had to do homework. If you said one negative thing, you made them come up with 3 positive things about somebody. So
Anyways.
They all stopped saying negative things about each other.
Yeah. So anyway, so I had all these things. They had to, when they were in our home, that was expected. Or you had to leave, especially because these were all kids who were old enough to leave. And anyways, so it was just so interesting for me. They would be at home, you know, listening to music, watching whatever they want on TV, eating garbage, not doing homework, and they were all at our house with all of these rules. But it was because there was love. And that's what I found, is they're going to flock to a place where there is love. And they want, actually, I mean, they craved. We have people calling us kids all the time, wanting us to come, you know, be in their weddings, do all this, that we've been kind of parents to. And they always want to hear stories about, like, tell them about the time, you know, I didn't obey and you kicked me out for 3 days, or this or that. It's like they wanted that. They wanted that discipline. They wanted to know I cared enough to care about how they behaved. And that was the thing that was so amazing. And they would all, like, you couldn't get them out of the house. I'd obviously fix dinner for everyone, but they all wanted to be there when he got home. There was this father. They craved that. They craved that more than they craved the mother. They craved the father. And it was like, I was not getting rid of them until, you know, he got home and they got to be around him. So it was just, for us, has been just this amazing journey. And then, and we've been so blessed by Bethel. I just, you know, if you ever have any more opportunities to, you know, download the podcast or share those kind of books that you have with your community. Our son actually went there first, and he was a student. She'd mentioned Heidi Baker. He'd been with her down in Mozambique, and that opened up the door to Bethel. We live in California, which is where Bethel is, and we'd never even heard of it. So we live about 6 hours south. But anyways, this community, that was the thing, that I wanted to just share. That the